What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into this one. So yeah, over the weekend, we know that Daniel Dubois lost his title to Alexander Usyk, pound for pound, really best fighter in the world today. And Usyk once again became undisputed world heavyweight champion, the biggest prize in the sport of boxing. And there's been a lot of rumors swirling around regarding Daniel Dubois since this time. And one of the things swirling around is about whether or not Daniel Dubois quit. You've got some people saying he didn't, and some people saying that he did. And I just want to sort of give my take on the situation. Now, initially, having watched the fight, having watched Dubois in there, obviously very clear loss. I don't think he won a round last Saturday night. I don't think he won a round at all. And I thought, looking at the ending, first knockdown was a good shot by Usyk, put Dubois down, but Dubois, to his credit, he got up, he wanted to continue. It was one of those that it was quite heavy, but he seemed to have his faculties, and he continued, and to his credit, he continued to fight. He got up courageously. But when it came to the second knockdown, that was a bit of a different story because I didn't think about this much on fight night, but when you sort of look at it again, the second knockdown, it was a much heavier knockdown, much heavier shot, and it was very powerful, and you could tell that this wasn't one of those things like some of like the jab where Usyk stopped him with last time, where it was a case of you could tell he was kind of mentally giving up and he was kind of almost looking for the floor. With this one, it was like, no, the punch is what put him on the floor. But what the main factor, the main thing was sort of what happened after that, where, yes, he was hurt, yes, he went down, but you sort of look at him on the floor and he seems to be quite conscious of what's going on. He seems to be quite aware and alert to what's going on. He seems to be very much sort of in the know. And when he rises up, I think he rises up at about the count of 9. He does seem to have his legs about him. He doesn't seem to be in a position where he's sort of all over the place. He's not in a position similar to, let's say, Anthony Joshua, when Dubois took out Anthony Joshua, where Joshua, you could tell he really wanted to continue, but you could also tell that he had no legs. His legs were completely gone. His head was completely gone. He had no equilibrium. He had no balance. He was just completely gone. So he was out of there, Joshua. There's no way, no chance he could have fought on. Whereas with Daniel Dubois, it was kind of the opposite, where yes, I think if he was allowed to continue, he probably does get knocked out, or he gets stopped, or he most definitely goes down again, because Usyk was going to put him down. But he did look to have enough about him in terms of his sort of strength in his legs, and he did seem to sort of have his balance. And when he got up, he seemed like, yeah, he was hurt, but he seemed fine in terms of, if he wanted to fight on, he probably could have. He probably gets beaten up and probably still may get knocked out. But yeah, that was my thoughts on it. So I think it looked like to me that he probably did quit there, because it looked like, at least from what we see on on film, that it looked like he had his legs about him to where he could have fought on, and he could have shown the referee a few more signs that he wanted to continue. I mean, ultimately it was Don Charles throwing the towel and showing the towel that ended the fight. But you look at Dubois there, and yeah, it looks like a bit of a quit in my view. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be hypercritical of him, because at the end of the day, with boxing, it's you are risking your life in the ring, and at the end of the day, you know he's done a brave thing by stepping in there. I mean, I personally, I'm more on the side of kind of what Chris Eubank says about boxing, Chris Eubank Senior, where I believe in that kind of philosophy of the Warrior's Code, what he talks about, where the idea is basically you go in that ring and you fight until you can't fight anymore. You go in that ring and you never sort of mentally give up yourself. Even if you're losing every single round, you fight on. So you don't let, you never sort of give up on the fight. You always stay in the fight. And if you're taking a beating, then you take the beating valiantly. That's my kind of take on it. But at the same time, someone like a Daniel Dubois, he was losing every round. He'd been knocked down twice. It was a fight he was never going to win. So, it's one of them where I'm not going to be like hypercritical on him, because at the end of the day, he's people that are watching, I'm watching it. I've never been a professional boxer or anything. So it would be a bit rich coming from me to say, he's a quitter, he's this and he's that. I think, no, any man that steps in that ring, risk his life in that ring. So at the end of the day, yes, I think he did quit. He did kind of give up there. But at the same time, he does deserve a tremendous amount of respect, because at the end of the day, he's become a world champion in his career. He's not even 30 years old yet. And by even becoming world champion, you're doing something and achieving something that probably 95% of boxers who turn pro do not achieve world honors like what Dubois. So I think as much as, yeah, you can quit, but at the end of the day, he's already done something that most people don't, and most people are not good enough to do, which is become a world champion. And he's also secured himself financially. So really and truly, you can't be too critical, because it's his life, it's his career on the line. So it is what it is. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought about Daniel Dubois. Do you think he quit or not? Let me know what you think. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.